taking some time now to settle the body, sitting in a comfortable position, making sure that you're steady and there's balance between the right and the left side of the body. If you're sitting cross-legged, imagine yourself like a triangle with the wide part at the base where your knees are, so they're even, and your spine is straight, your head and neck are aligned. The arms and hands are on your knees or in your lap in a mudra of your choice, and the eyes and the mouth are lightly closed. Take a long, deep inhalation into the abdomen and the chest, and then when you exhale, separate yourself from the events of the day. And take another long, deep inhalation now. And this time when you exhale, release all of the conversations and interactions that you've had so far today in whatever form they may have taken. Just let them all go. And take another long, deep inhalation now. And this time when you exhale, release any thoughts or feelings of obligation of anything you need to do outside of this class, and give yourself the gift of being right here and present in this present moment. There's nothing else you need to do right now but to be right here and right now. Bring the awareness now into the hips and just be aware of how you're feeling in the hip joints at the moment. And just leave your awareness here. As I explain that this class will be focused on the hips and the opening of the hips. And there's a few reasons why being open in the hip joints is really important to the body and also the mind. First of all, it releases tension. And the hips can be a storage area for stress and tension and also unresolved emotions. And by opening up the hips, you can actually help to release any of these blockages. And it also promotes emotional balance and mental clarity. Opening the hips also enhances mobility, because when you have tight hips, it can actually lead to lower back pain and can restrict overall mobility. And so improving your range of motion in this area can reduce the risk of injury and also help to relieve any pain in the lower back and also in the knees. An open hip also means that you can support pelvic health within the body. Hypno opening poses, they help to actually stimulate blood flow in the pelvic region, and that can also improve reproductive health and aid in the functioning of digestive organs. And finally, overall, hip health actually helps to promote circulation. And so when you increase circulation in the hip area, these poses can help to maintain health of the joints and muscles in the lower body. So all joints and muscles in the lower body can be positively impacted through hip opening asanas. And so now, as we go through the asanas in this class, please work within the range of movement of your body. And if you are stiff in the hip area, just be very mindful there. And if something's not right, please do a different posture or don't go so deeply into the posture. And you can always visualize the practice as well, because it can be just as effective. So now with the awareness, gently raise it up through the torso. So up through the abdomen and the chest and up through the spine. And then bring it up through the shoulders and into the neck, and into the back of the head, the crown of the head, and into the face, and release any expression on the face. And then bring the awareness gently to the eyebrow center. And at this point, visualize a steady candle flame. And together now, we'll chant Om 3 times and Om Shanti and the Shanti mantra to pay respect to our tradition and to each other so that we can all learn together without ill will. We're breathing in first for Om chanting. Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinat Padhitamastu, Ma Ved Vashavahe. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. And now, very gently and mindfully lie down in Shavasana with your head in this direction if possible. Just take a few moments to settle into Shavasana before we begin our second asana. So now in Shavasana, bring the feet in front of the buttocks and then bring the soles of the feet together, just gently allowing the knees to fall towards the floor. And then bring the hands together in prayer position at the heart space. Inhale with the knees still opening. Raise the palms above the head, stretching up through the torso, and very gently open the hips. Inhale, bring the knees together and the palms back to the heart space. Complete another 6 rounds in this way. Exhaling, bringing the palms above the head and the knees out towards the floor. Inhale, bring the hands back to the heart space and knees together. And just observe the opening of the hips from this practice and also the stretching of the torso. It's a real full body stretch. This is a very good one to do first thing in the morning. To stretch after sleeping through the night. When you've completed your 7 rounds, come back to Shavasana for a few moments. And then when you're ready, come back up to the base position, Parambik Sthiti, with the legs out in front of the body and the hands behind the buttocks with the fingers pointing away. And take some time just to observe the movement of energy around the body from that practice, particularly in the hip joints. For our next practice, we'll be doing 2 different hip opening exercises on each side. Beginning with the right side, Bring the right foot in front of the buttocks with put the sole on the inside of the left thigh. We're going to begin with Purna Tatali Asana. So this is the half butterfly pose. So inhale, bring the right knee up to the chest. Exhale, bring the right knee back to the floor. Again, focusing on the hip joint and completing 7 rounds. Trying to coordinate the breath with the movement, aiming for that body breath mind connection. And when you've finished your 7th round, again in your own time, rather than bringing the right leg out in front of the body, we're going to move into hip rotation. For hip rotation, so still clasping the right hand to the kneecap and the left hand around the right ankle. With the right foot, you can either put it up on the left thigh, if that's comfortable. If not, you can keep it the sole of the right foot on the inside of the left thigh. But you're going to guide the right knee in a circular motion. So you can go clockwise first, doing big circles with the knee. So you're rotating that hip joint, completing 7 rounds in each direction. And it's quite an awkward movement. So just feel your way into the practice and just explore the asana for yourself. And again, placing the awareness in the hip joint. After your 7th round, be sure to come out of the practice mindfully by bringing the knee up to the chest and the foot flat on the floor, and then bringing the leg along the floor back to the base position. And just take a few moments to sit in the base position just to observe the difference between the right and the left sides of the body. And then when it's right for you, complete the same practice on the left side, beginning with Purna Tatali Asana, so bringing the left foot in front of the buttock and then bringing the knee out towards the side and the sole of the left foot in the inside of the right leg, putting the left hand on the left knee and the right hand on the top of the foot. Inhale and bring the left knee up. Exhale, bring the left knee down towards the floor. Again, 7 rounds. Placing the awareness in the hip joint. When you reach your 7th round, taking your own time, move then into hip rotations on the left side. So either leaving the sole of the foot on the inside of the right leg or putting the foot on top of the right thigh, making circular movements in a clockwise direction first for 7 rounds, really opening up that hip. And then complete 7 rounds in the opposite direction. When you reach the end of your 7th round, bring the knee up to the chest and then slide the foot along the floor. Again, coming back to base position and observing the movement of energy around the body, observing what's happening for you in the hip. Our next practice will be Tatali Asana, so the full butterfly posture. So bringing the feet up in front of the buttocks and then bringing the knees out towards the side and the soles of the feet together, clasping the hands around the feet, allowing the knees to open. Inhale, bringing the knees up towards the arms. Exhaling, bringing the knees towards the floor, opening up the hips. Complete 10 rounds of this practice. When you reach your 10th round, bring the knees back together and then slide the feet along the floor, coming back to base position again. And just observing what's happening for you in the hip joints. And it's good to do some counter postures as well. So a good counter posture from all the hip asanas we've been doing so far is a forward bend. So making sure your posture is straight, head and neck are aligned, spine is straight. Raise the arms above the head, stretching up through the torso. So inhale and then exhale as you bring the arms over towards the feet. So you can either just stretch forward where is right for you. So you put your hands on wherever the legs or the feet, whatever works for you. And just hold for a few breaths, making sure the spine is straight. We'll do 3 rounds of this practice. holding the final round a little bit longer than the others. When it's right for you, again, come back to the base position. Next, we'll do another hip opening posture, which is a pigeon pose. We'll begin with the right leg. So for pigeon pose, you put the leg sort of underneath the body like so, with the leg out behind, straight out behind, but the right leg folded, and then bring the chest down over the knee. The right leg is crossed in front of the body, left leg is out behind. And just come down to where is comfortable for you, and you can really feel that stretch in the hip joint. So we'll just hold this for 3 breaths. So breathe into the position. You'll notice when you exhale, you'll be able to release further in. And then when you've completed your 3 breaths, we'll move to the other side. So this one, bringing the left leg in front of the body, right leg behind. This is a really good one. I can feel this on I'm opening my own hip joints. I used to do this particular asana a lot more than I have been, and I can definitely feel that now. So it shouldn't hurt, but you'll be able to feel the tightness releasing in your hip joint. So holding for 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, come out of the position. Come back into child pose just to allow the hips to release a bit. It's quite a strong pose. When you're ready, come to standing up on the knees. We'll do a lunge position. First, we'll so the feet are flat behind. Bring the right foot out so that it's a right angle, like taking a big step, and then lunge forward. And then you can either keep the hands at prayer position or bring them above the head. Again, opening up that hip joint. We'll just do one on each side, but just hold the position just for a few breaths so that you can feel it doing its work. And then come back and complete the same practice on the left leg. So stepping the left leg forward. And then bringing the hands up if that's right for you. You can even have the hands open that way if that works, but releasing that hip joint. When you've completed the practice, we're going to come up to a standing position, but we'll do head to foot pose on the way up. So in head to foot pose, you allow the top half of the body to hang over the bottom half. You can either grab the elbows behind the knees, allowing the body to hang, or even just have your hands hanging on the floor, whatever works for you and your body. Really stretching out the legs. And then gently rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae to a standing position. And now in a standing Shavasana, just ensure there's balance between the right and the left side. We're going to do a couple of squatting postures now. With these postures, make sure that they're okay for your body. If not, just do a variation that works for you, because I know some people have knee issues and things like that. Squats are great for opening the hips, but they're sometimes not great on other parts of the body. Please work within your range of movement. The first squat we're going to do is quite a deep squat where we come down and then we put the elbows in between the knees and have the hands in prayer position. Head is up. And just hold for a few moments. And then when you're ready, release the practice. We'll do this 3 times. You might find with each round that you're able to go a little bit deeper in the practice. After your 3rd round, come back to a standing Shavasana and allow the breath to come back just to its natural state. Next, we're going to do a really wide squat. So bring the feet wide apart with the feet turned out and the hands in prayer position. And then we'll go down, making sure that the knees don't go over the toes. And we'll do this 3 times as well. This will be the last squatting posture and the last hip posture. I know there've been quite strong postures in this class. After your final squat, very gently, mindfully come down into Shavasana. And lying on the back in Shavasana, just observing the movement of energy, what's happening for you in the hip joints. Allowing the body to relax. And our final posture, which will be a counter posture, is to bring the knees to the chest, hug them tight, and just rotate however you see fit. So just to really unlock any tension in the base of the spine. So you might want to go from side to side or in circles, whatever works for your body. And do this for your own duration. And when you're ready and finished with the final posture, stay in Shavasana. We're going to do our Pranayama in Shavasana and then go into Yoga Nidra. So if you need any blankets or cushions or anything like that, it's a good idea to get them now, and then you won't need to move at all throughout the practice. So again, just checking in to make sure there's balance between the right and the left side of the body, and that the legs are hip width apart, all tensions released, and the feet are flopping to the sides, and the arms are a little bit away from the body with the palms facing the sky. And just returning to the natural breath and observing how the natural breath fills the abdomen with air and the chest with air. And then on the exhalation, the chest subsides and the abdomen subsides. And just observe the natural rhythm of the natural breath. And now place one hand gently on your lower abdomen, just below the navel, to help direct your focus. And inhale deeply through the nose, allowing the breath to fill your abdomen. And feel your belly rise as you draw the breath in. And as you exhale, feel your belly fall as you gently release the breath. Just observing the movement of the abdomen with the breath. And as you continue with the deep abdominal breathing, mentally direct the breath towards your hips and visualize the breath moving down from your abdomen into the hip joints, filling the area with warmth and relaxation. And visualize and imagine that when you exhale, that you are releasing any tension or tightness in the hips, and your body is sinking deeper into the floor with each exhalation. And just continue the focus of the abdominal breath into the hips. And then after your next exhalation, release the hand back to the floor and release the practice. And we'll now prepare for the practice of Yoga Nidra. And just checking again that your body is in a comfortable and balanced position, and that your head and neck are aligned with the spine. And take a long, deep inhalation. And this time when you exhale, really focus on allowing the whole body to melt into the floor. And another long, deep inhalation. And when you exhale, this time release any remaining tension in the body, particularly in the face, ensuring that you're not clenching your jaw, you've released any expression, you're not tensing the muscles behind the eyes. This all tension is released from the face and the entire body. And become aware now of sounds. Listen first for sounds that are way off in the distance, but don't try and identify them or name them. Just move your awareness from one sound to the next as you hear it. Bring the sound awareness a little closer now to the sounds that are just outside the room where you are. Again, just moving the awareness from sound to sound. And now bring the sound awareness to the sounds inside the room where you are. And now bring the sound awareness to sounds inside the body, beginning first with the sound and the sensation of the heartbeat. And now move the sound awareness to the sound and the sensation of the natural breath. Release the sound awareness now and call to mind your Sankalpa. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. We'll now rotate the awareness around the body. So listen to my instructions, and when I say the name of a body part, place your awareness there, visualize that part, and mentally repeat the name of that part. We'll begin first with the right side of the body and the right hand thumb, first finger, second, third, and little finger, palm of the right hand, back of the right hand, the wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, right side of the chest, right waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the right foot, top of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. Moving now to the left side of the body with the left hand thumb, first finger, second, third, and little finger, palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, armpit, left side of the chest, left waist, hip, thigh, knee, shin, calf, heel, ankle, sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third, fourth, and little toe. And moving now to the back of the body with the heels, the back of the legs, the buttocks, the small of the back, the middle of the back, the shoulder blades, the space between the shoulder blades, the back of the neck, and the entire spinal column, the back of the head, and the crown of the head. And moving now around to the face with the forehead, the temples, the eyebrows, and the eyebrow center, the ears, the eyes, the cheeks, the nose, the lips, the jaw, the chin, the throat, the collarbones, and the pit of the throat. The right side of the chest, the left side of the chest, and the center of the chest. The right side of the abdomen, the left side of the abdomen, and the navel. The right side of the pelvis, the left side of the pelvis, and the groin. The whole right leg, the whole left leg, and both legs together. The whole right arm, the whole left arm, and both arms together. The whole torso, the whole neck, the whole head, the whole front of the body, the whole back of the body, the whole body. Have a sense now, all at once, the whole body. Bring the awareness now back to the natural breath and observe how subtle the natural breath has now become. And observe the rise and fall of the navel in response to the natural breath. And we'll now add a visualization to the natural breath. And so as you lie there in stillness, visualize that each inhalation is a warm golden light that enters through the crown of your head and gently flows down the spine. As it reaches the base of the spine, you see this light spreading out into your hips, filling the entire hip area with warmth and relaxation. And with each exhalation, imagine any tension, discomfort, or heaviness in the hips being drawn out and released through the body, dissolving into the earth beneath you. Continue this cycle, allowing the breath to guide the flow of energy, releasing and relaxing the hips with each breath. And if the mind wanders, use the breath like an anchor to bring it back to the practice. Release the breath visualization now, and instead feel the following opposite sensations in the body. The body is feeling hotter and hotter. The body feels as though it's lying out on the hot sand on a stifling summer's day. The body's feeling hotter and hotter, as though it's lying out on the hot sand on a stifling summer's day. Release this feeling of heat now and replace it instead with a feeling of coldness. The body's feeling colder and colder. The body feels as though it's standing outside in an icy breeze on a freezing winter's day. The body's feeling colder and colder, as though it's standing out in an icy wind on a freezing winter's day. Release this feeling of coldness now and replace it with a feeling of heaviness. The body is feeling heavier and heavier. The body feels like it's made out of concrete, and it feels like it's sinking into the floor. The body's feeling heavier and heavier, as though it's made out of concrete and it's sinking deeper into the floor. Release this feeling of heaviness now and replace it instead with a feeling of lightness. The body's feeling lighter and lighter. The body feels so light that it feels like it's floating above the floor. The body feels so light, it feels like it's free from any burden or tension, and it's floating above the floor. Release this feeling of lightness now. Release all of these sensations completely and allow the body to come back to its normal state, and instead come to the space of the mind, the space behind the closed eyes. And in this space, see, imagine, visualize and create the following objects and images. You are lying on a soft, cushioned surface that gently rocks with the rhythm of a calm ocean. The water beneath you is a deep, tranquil blue, and you feel completely safe and supported. The gentle movement of the water creates a soothing rhythm, as if the ocean itself is cradling you. And with each rise and fall of the waves, your hips and lower back are massaged by the soft currents, easing away any tension or discomfort. The vastness of the ocean reflects the vastness of your inner space, where there is room for relaxation, healing, and peace. And you continue to float effortlessly, feeling the gentle embrace of the water as it lulls you into a state of deep rest and tranquility. And retaining that feeling of tranquility, It's time now to come back to the mat in the room where you are and call to mind your Sankalpa. Mentally repeat it 3 times now. And begin to feel the breath again in the body. Allow the breath to deepen. And as you do, observe how it moves the back against the floor. Observe the movement the breath creates in the body. And check in with your body now and observe how you feel at this moment. The practice of Yoga Nidra is coming to a close. So remember the details of the room that you are in and the time of day, and begin to hear the sounds of the world around you. And remember the world that is attached to those sounds. Begin to make small movements with the fingers and the toes, and to move and stretch in a way that's right for you. You may like to raise the arms above the head for a full body stretch, or gently move the head from side to side. Even roll onto the right side for a few moments, being very gentle and allowing your body to gently ease its way back from the Yoga Nidra state. And when it's right for you, and only in your own time, keeping the eyes closed or downcast, very gently and mindfully come up into a sitting position. But there is no rush. And in a comfortable sitting position, gently bring the awareness into the hip joints and observe how you feel there now compared to the beginning of the class. Observe if you feel more open and if you have released anything that you need to let go. And now gently move the awareness up through the body before gently resting it at the eyebrow center. And at the eyebrow center, visualize a steady candle flame. And together now we'll chant Om and Om Shanti to conclude the class. Breathing in, Om. 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 Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.